Chemistry on stage is always like a interesting topic because I think chemistry on stage is something that the audience experiences, right? It's like not something we actually are looking for. I find like with us, the more specific we are with the scene, like beat to beat, like really knowing what to play, at least for me anyway, feels like I can then lean into it, which I think is what translates into like chemistry.
Yeah, I mean, it helps also that we have worked together before and all that.
Friends.
And we also have an intimacy coordinator who helps us a lot in terms of choreographing what we are doing with our bodies. So that just makes everything feel a little bit more comfortable, and I think enhances, I think anytime we're comfortable, the chemistry reads better.
Yeah. A big part of navigating the intimate moments on stage is us talking through with our intimacy coordinator and the director in really like deciding exactly how everything is going to go. But it definitely is like a huge part of the plot, right? Like I feel like it kind of, we talked about that the first couple of days, it really drives the thing forward. So we have to like get that right.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's kind of like any acting decision. It's like you have text and you have action, and ideally you're going through a text and figuring out beat by beat what you're doing and what you're thinking and how your body's moving in space. And the intimate scenes are kind of the same. It's just that we're doing things people don't normally do on stage.
Yeah, and the more like physically connected we are in Act 1, the more kind of drastic that makes it feel in Act 2. So when like we can't have that connection, it makes both characters feel like they're totally cut off from the thing that made them actually like happy in life.
Yeah, our relationship really operates on extremes in the piece.
Yeah.
For me, balancing sacrifice and suffering is all just built into the story. It's not really something I'm consciously trying to, I don't know, it's not really something I'm consciously trying to navigate. It's just telling the story. And from the character's viewpoint, she's not suffering.
Yeah.
So we have to really think in terms of what is Bess feeling and what is Bess aware of.
Yeah, that's often a thing that it's interesting to talk about with people because there's a version of the story from the audience's perspective, which includes what you might perceive as sacrifice or suffering. And then there's what we're having to play as characters. And like, my job is to think of what Jan's going through, and your job is to think of what's Bess going through. And that doesn't necessarily include the whole picture, right? We're playing a certain part of it. And like, for my part, I think Jan isn't actually trying to make Bess sacrifice. I think he's trying to give her some life, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't work out the way that he hopes, but so I totally agree with you. We're not like in the middle of the sacrifice and suffering. That's sort of a judgment from the audience's standpoint.
Yeah, someone asked me the other day if Bess was a victim, and I was like, I have to stop and think about that because
of what?
Yeah, because I mean, she definitely doesn't think she's a victim, so I haven't even really thought about that.
Well, and she's a victim of being murdered, right?
And so, like of her society and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, for sure she's a victim in many ways, but I just hadn't thought about that because I really don't think she perceives herself as a victim. And I think it's the same way with like heroes too. You know, like I think sometimes we can get into a trap in opera, both as viewers, as performers, as producers, where we just like need to see a hero in a story. And this is a story where everyone's just kind of doing their best, but no one's really nailing it. Yeah, there's not really if there's a bad guy, it's society, right? And like patriarchy, but like they're all really trying to, well, our two characters are at least really trying to lean into their love for each other. There's nothing, from my point of view, particularly unhealthy about Bess and Jan's relationship, other than the way that society kind of judges it. It's also a really extreme circumstance. Like, I think that people in love do drastic things when the stakes are really high. And so, I don't know, it seems like a really just loving relationship until that is potentially taken away. And then we both act in ways that we wouldn't otherwise. But I think it's a similar thing. Like, we can't think of ourselves as like codependent or something. I try really hard not to like overanalyze the piece and the characters in terms of psychoanalyzing Bess. Like, I don't think she's ever been to a therapist, you know, and it's like, so it's like she doesn't know whatever's going on with her. She's just acting and moving forward.
I think this is a really hard piece to say what I what message I hope people take away. Because I think it's not a message so much as maybe a question about what our society is and what love looks like and how much room there is for love that doesn't look like the norm within a society that's kind of oppressive.
Yeah. I don't know. I also just, I think it's exactly the kind of piece that everyone is going to take away something different.
Yeah.
It's a very complicated piece. There's, a huge religious component, a huge component of love, trauma, loss, compromise, all of these things that everybody has a different life experience with.
Yeah.
And so I think that's kind of the beauty of the piece, is that it touches people in different ways and makes different people ask different questions.